made with respect to responsible and sustainable growth, and certainly this is one of them. The Bay Beach development is one of them, and I can unequivocally say that it is a
upon repeal, the town's comprehensive zoning bylaw number 129-90 be the same as it was on February 28th, 2010, as if this bylaw 2610 was never enacted, except for any other specific amendments enacted by the council on or before March 1st, 2010. And further moves that during the consultative process, the council will discuss with the Molinaro Group other alternatives to the current development.
Now that you've read that out, that actually should have been done as a notice to motion and as a motion of reconsideration. So that would be done. We'll move that back to notice as a motion for the next council meeting. And it will be done as a motion of reconsideration. Okay.
Excuse me, can we not suspend the... have a suspension
you can have
tonight?
Well, you can have a motion to suspend the rules of procedure to do so. Yes, you can. First, have a motion of reconsideration.
Okay, I would make a motion to reconsider.
The rules.
Suspend the rules. Thank you.
Seconder. Councillor Hill. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. That motion is now on the floor. Is there a seconder for that motion? Councillor Luberts. Speakers to that motion. No, pardon me? Wednesday, the motion we received and that we approved on Wednesday night to be reconsidered. That motion, oh no, sorry, now we have to make a motion to reconsider that, which is that's the motion that's on the floor now. No, the motion is to, reconsider the bylaw first. We do that first, then we'll put the...
Your Worship, just to give some guidance to the council, the motion that was passed by council Wednesday night, February the 9th, is what needs to be reconsidered first. And if that's approved, then the matter comes back on the floor again. If it's defeated, then it can move forward to another motion.
We just made a motion to waive the rules of procedure to consider reconsideration. Now we have to make a motion to reconsider, do we not? So now this motion to reconsider the Wednesday night decision, yeah. So that's what the motion is on the floor, to reconsider why that was approved on Wednesday night, as stated. Any speakers to that reconsideration? We have a seconder for that. I believe Councillor Lubert seconded that. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Now the motion on the floor is reconsidered. It is on the... Do we have to have another motion to put it on the floor? It is now deemed to be on the floor, is it not? Wednesday night, the motion is now deemed to be back on the floor. Speakers, Councillor Collard, did you wish to speak?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. As I stated earlier, I had a great deal of angst over the Wednesday night motion, and have sought input from other parties, independent of the town, and in order for me to attempt to reconsider that decision that I made. As I stated earlier, the one concern I have with the motion and with the project or opposition to this particular development was it seemed to me that we didn't have another alternative. I mean, it was this or nothing else. And I believed that the one thing I heard, although I didn't run on this particular issue in Stevensville Black Creek, I did talk about development, the need for development. This certainly is development, but this is only one development. And perhaps there are other options available that would be more acceptable to the people in Crystal Beach, because they're the ones who live with this. The other message that I heard loud and clear was we didn't, previous council did not listen to what the people said. I know I've had emails from people supporting it. I've had a lot of emails from people who didn't. I've invited people into my home for discussion over the past few days. I welcomed anybody who had any kind of opinion on this to come and speak to me. I didn't do it by email. I did it by phone and by visitation. And so I'm asking for a reconsideration of this bylaw so that perhaps we can work with the Molinaro Group and come up with an alternative plan that we can go forward with quickly and get in the ground. And we would not necessarily be owners of a condominium. If there was another development take place, it would then fall under the development and the same structure as other developments that go forward. Somebody else owns it. We look after the service to it, but we're not responsible for it. There was just some issues that when I got and received additional information and I would say advice of options that were available that maybe weren't available to me on Wednesday night. I'm not saying that it wasn't good information. I'm just saying perhaps it wasn't all of the information that I needed to make a better decision on my behalf that I was more comfortable with. And so tonight I'm asking for reconsideration of the bylaw from Wednesday evening.
The moment the bylaw is back on the floor, Madam Clerk, we can defeat this bylaw and then bring another bylaw forward. So what you're doing is, yeah, and I just want to know two different things exactly, so everyone is clear exactly. We'll be voting on the motion that was presented last Wednesday evening, and if it is defeated, which it appears it was going to do, then what is the subsequent motion to be made available, or is there a subsequent motion to come forward?
Through your worship, Councillor Collard, I believe, has one in hand.
Okay, thank you.
That as a result of the consideration of all of the options, relative legal analysis and implications, financial and otherwise, provided by the town solicitor in concert with confidential report number CS0711, respecting the Bay Beach Gateway project and OMB decision, Council hereby determines to proceed with the development project in partnership with the Molinaro Group, and that the town solicitor is hereby directed to contact the solicitor for the Molinaro Group to coordinate a legal response to the leave to appeal application of the Fort Erie Waterfront Preservation Association once it is received, and to report back to Council regarding the response and budget.
Any speakers to that? Councillor Passero.
Thank you, Mayor Martin. Just a clarification. The contract that we currently have with the Molinaro Group for the Crystal Beach Gateway project is the 12-story condo and everything that comes with it as it stands right now. So my question is, through you to my friend Councillor Collard, when the Molinaros come back and say, no, we're happy with the contract that we have, what is your next step? Is that proceeding down the path to repeal the bylaw in its entirety? Or are you just looking to open up these discussions right now to see if there's a second option to try and appease some of the electorate? Because I honestly, in my opinion, do not believe the Molinaros are going to come back willingly and say, yeah, let's open it up, maybe we can change it.
Councillor, do you have any comments on that?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Councillor Steckley. I'm sorry. I keep getting you guys mixed up.
Slam to him.
I apologize for that. I just think that the Molinaro Group, yes, they may walk away and they may be, they have there are options available to them. We know that. The one thing we don't have, and if this gets defeated, they walk away. My intention is to look at other options available for development in that area. It's been said a few times, many times, and I've asked people who are against it, and if you're against it, if you don't want this, then what do you want? And many people said, don't put it there. We didn't want this. We had a neighborhood plan that stated that we could put it in another location. So I need to look at those options. Is that available? I know we have this contract, but from what I understand of the contract, it's not a binding contract until all of the other issues take place within that contract. And so we have the option to step away. I think we need to look at some other development that I think would be more of a consensus of the will of the people in that area. They're going to live with it. And again, quite frankly, although this may be a little personal, it never was my vision for the waterfront. A development in another area would be the beginning point and the starting point of some comprehensive, sustainable development in that area. You can get your condos, you can get your retail stores, you can get a nice restaurant in there, and I think there's that corridor along there that would stimulate growth in there as well. The other issue for me in the development that would go, the Crystal Beach Gateway project, is once it's built and we take possession, we are now responsible. As we are, I understand, we're responsible for the Leisureplex, we're responsible for all of our other property that we own as a municipality. I don't know why we want to be landowners and condominium owners. I just don't see why we need to be able to have to maintain something that other people are the condos. So if we build it on another location, it becomes the condo manager's responsibility to do the maintenance. And that's another very important issue as far as I was concerned when I'm looking at this and trying to bring it forward, that to me, and this is my opinion and I've gone through the paperwork, to me it's not a good deal. To me it didn't stand the sniff test. And if it doesn't stand the sniff test, there's something wrong. I'm telling you why I need to come forward and look at some other options. If Molinaro chooses to continue to work with us, great. He's not going to lose his money. The money he's invested so far on that project, he can put over into another development if he so chooses, or they so choose, sorry. So, I don't know if that answers your question, Councillor Passero, but...
I don't want to get into debate with other councillors.
No, I'll leave it with, my question is not so much what the product smells like. I want to know what process you're looking to go down, because in my opinion, and we'll see how this plays out, are you looking to go down this road alone as a municipality with the Molinaros as partners? Because they will not be partners in changing this development. This is what they signed up for. This is what we signed up for. So I'm just garnering, at what point do we get down the process when they do walk away? Does one of the four people around the table who's not comfortable with this development put the motion forward to say, we're backing out? When does that happen? So that's what I'm looking at. Rather than delaying it, looking at other options, when does that happen if that's the will of the majority of this council?
I believe, and I don't want Councillor Collard to answer this, I think we should talk to either through Ms. Salter or whoever wishes to comment. I think if we do this, then we are backing out right now. And the legal obligations, the legal potential liabilities will become in effect. Mr. Slang, could you comment on that?
Through your worship, yes, I believe if you make that point now, you're delaying and you're saying no, and the Molinaros will not only just walk but take the appropriate legal action that you're all aware of in the closed session.
Councillor Passero?
Thank you.
Anyone further? Councillor Schur, then Councillor Hill.
Thank you, Worship. Councillor Collard, I worked diligently to get this thing moved to the north side. I met with the Molinaros, and they told me straight up, they are not interested in the north side. I brought my position to council. I tried to delay the process for 6 months. I was outvoted. 2 members of the previous council wanted nothing whatsoever. I was looking for the north side. 4 councillors voted to proceed. At that point, it was a binding contract. Molinarios are